All right, guys, here we go. Monday, starting off the week strong. So, fitness and sport is going to open up with barbell long lunge. And all that really means is we're going to step way out. And by stepping way out, it's going to be a little bit more hamstring driven. And since it's a lunge, it's only working one side of the body. So, we're going to work one side, the other side, back and forth. And then we're going to tie them together and challenge the hamstrings a little bit more by doing some good mornings. So, it's going to start off like this. You got an empty barbell. You're going to do 7 lunges alternating. So 1, 1, 2, 2, all the way up to 7. Then you're going to do 14 good mornings. So the good mornings will be double whatever your total, or they're the same as your total lunge, but they're double each individual side, right? For instance, in the next set, you got 1 by 12 at 20 to 25% of your back squat. And that might not sound like very much, and the highest we get to is 40% of your back squat. But considering you're doing a lunge, not squatting, and then doing good mornings, it's actually a really high percentage of intensity for these movements. So be wise, don't overshoot your boundaries on that. Finishing up, like we said, 2 sets at 8, which is really 4 on the left, 4 on the right alternating, and then 8 good mornings at that point. Part 2, here we go. 800-meter run. Then you're going to get back, you're going to knock out 30 kettlebell swings. So whether that's chest level or all the way up, it's really kind of up to you. Keep the flow going a little bit. By going all the way overhead, it's probably a little bit harder of a movement, except the turnover rate is a little bit slower. So if you want to keep it more in the legs versus more in some of the upper body as well, you can just rush in it. If you want to get a little bit more cardio, you can probably take it all the way overhead, up to you. Then after that, you're going to do 60 heels off the ground squats, and all that means is exactly what it says. You're going to pull your heels up off the ground, kind of balancing this squat through. Sometimes this is called Hindu squats, different names for it and stuff, but it's fantastic to build athleticism and coordination at the same time. If you need to scale by putting something underneath your heels to try to get that same elevation outside the balance, you can do that as well. Then you got 15 kettlebell swings and then 30 heels off air squats, finishing up with an 800-meter run. So you got some cardio on both sides of this. You got some different challenging movements. Definitely going to be a fun workout. Too easy. Lag and muscle afterwards if you want it. And a mobility majors marching orders starting off the week. Could be the first week you mobilize every day. Let that start today. Hoo-yah. Then we got power and iron up. Exact same thing we talked about on the lunge and good morning piece. And remember again, it's going to be alternating. And the reason why we're alternating is when you come off of doing your lunges and you go into the good mornings at this point, you want to make sure that your body is evenly fatigued. You don't want to do all on one side, then all on the other, then try to use them together and one side's a little bit more loaded up more recently. So left, right for all your reps, then good mornings through and through. Part 2 is going to be 4 to 5 rounds of 12 wall balls and 12 banded kettlebell swings. So with the wall balls, we're going to try to obviously get nice and low. You're going to try to get good range of motion out of this. It's a very lightweight compared to what your body can do. So this is going to be kind of the antecedent to get your legs nice and warm. And then you're going to pick it up. You're going to do the banded kettlebell swings. Legs are already hot. Now we're going to make sure we're using hips and glutes for a strong, powerful contraction. And by using the band, what it gives us the ability to do is it gives us the ability to extend how long we're able to actually flex into the band. So it increases that total tension, increases that total tension in the swing itself. Then you got a 100-meter sprint and a 100-meter walk back. Catch your breath along the way. Try to control your breathing the entire time. If 4 rounds feels you're good to go, you're tired, too easy. If you want to go into 5, up to you, too easy. Part 3 is going to be 3 rounds of a 200-foot farmer in one hand, so it's hanging low, and waiter in the other hand, right? So this kind of double offset setup here. You're going to walk 100 feet, boom, switch to the other side, and then you'll walk your other 100 feet, building up some definitely stability, core balance. 10 weighted back extension after that. So you go 100 foot down, 100 foot back, and then weighted back extensions. If you have great control of your back, then you can do weighted. If you feel like you're still building up that back, you're still building the base to have this strong kind of complete stabilization of the spine, then go no weight at all. Just challenge yourself. And a couple scales for that is you could do Superman's, or you can always do bench back extensions as well, where you lay on a bench, you hook your legs to the bench, and you go down and up just the same. With that, weighted would be very difficult because you're going to lift the bench up. So that'll be body weight for sure. Rest 1 minute between rounds. Part 4, lag and muscle. Part 5, mobility majors, TDY. TDY. So exact same kind of setup here. We're going dumbbell long lunge. So for these, you can hold them up top, you can hold them down low. Go over to the MHT Daily IG right after this, get a movement demo of what that looks like. But when we step out, again, we're long lunging. We want our shins to be vertical or even like knees slightly behind the ankle. We don't want the knees to start floating forward on this movement because it's a little bit more hamstring that we're focusing on this. And then after your 7 and 7 lunges, then instead of good mornings, now you're going to do dumbbell RDLs at that point, right? If you wanted to, you could take one of your dumbbells instead of doing RDLs hanging. You could take a light dumbbell, hold it on your back, make sure you're not messing your neck up, you know, figure out where it's at, maybe on your chest, and you still could do some good mornings with that as well, but keep safety in mind. Make sure you're not, again, crunching vertebra up there on the back of your neck. All right, so finishing out with 2x8. So you got 4 on one side, 4 on the other, alternating 8 RDLs again. Part 2 is very similar, except you don't have wall balls. And if you do have wall balls, then you can sub it out, just like we talked about before, and do power and iron ups. Part 2, same. So 4 to 5 rounds, 12 dumbbell thrusters, 12 dumbbell swings, and a 100-meter sprint, 100-meter walk back. Then part 3 is looking the exact same way, but instead of back extensions, we're doing seated dumbbell deadlifts here. Again, if you have a bench, you could sub it out and do bench back extensions as well. TBY is going to be part 1 of 5 rounds of 50-foot body weight or an odd object lunge, so you could hold something or just body weight it out. And then you're going to Igor walk back. So you're going to smoke the legs, and then on the Igor walk back, this thing is the best for smoking your hamstrings because you're curling your way along, walking through the heels of your hamstrings the whole way. Check out MHT Daily IG right after this, see what I'm saying. 30-second rest between rounds, nice and short, so because there's no intensity of weight, we're keeping the intensity through shorter intervals, higher amounts of just body weight volume. Part 2 is going to be 800-meter run, 30 loaded backpack swings, 60 heels off the ground air squats like we already talked about, 15 loaded swings, 30, 800-meter run, lag and muscle if you want it, mobility majors today, so this week is the one. Get that mobility, increase it, make every workout legitimately feel better. Your joints feel better, your bones feel better, all of your muscles are gonna feel better, you're gonna recover faster, and on to the next day. Hoo-yah, never quit.